Hello and welcome back. This is the second Scratch video, and let's get started. So the first thing you should do, hopefully you've already created a Scratch account, and so the first thing you should do is sign in. And then once you're signed in, what I'm going to do today is a long extended example. We're going to create a game in Scratch, and I've already created the game, and I wanted to let you know, show you what it looks like first. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to my shared area within Scratch, my stuff, and we'll take a look at the game that I created. And Scratch will load the project for me, and then I just click on the green flag. And now the game is to catch a ball. I have my little sprite, and the sprite will move around trying to catch the ball, and we got him. But now what we're going to do is we're going to let him miss the ball, and you can see what happens. I'm using the arrow keys to move the sprite around, and then all of a sudden we'll get down to the bottom, and sorry, you lose. Okay, so as long as you keep catching balls, you can continue to play, and it'll increment your score. But then the first time that you drop the ball, you lose, and the game stops. So, okay. So now we're going to create this from scratch now. Sorry. So the first thing, the way you do that is you hit the create button. And time passes. There we are. And you end up in the editing window to create the Scratch. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to name the project, because it doesn't have a name yet, and I'm going to call it 1. Catch the ball. Oops, whoops. Ball. You'll realize early on in the term that I can't type. Okay, and then so the second thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the cat, because I don't want to use the cat. And we can get rid of the cat sprite just by right-clicking on the cat, on the sprite itself, and then pull down to delete, and gone. So now we really have nothing. So the next thing we want to do is I want to get a sprite. So I go down here, there's this new sprite list, and there's these 4 different icons. The first one is the one you want. If you hover over it, it says choose sprite from library. So we'll click on that, and it will load the library. And then the sprite that I want is Bear 2 right here. So I'll just double click on that, and poof, I have a bear. Now this bear is a little bit too big for what I want to use him for. So what I'm going to do up here at the top, there's also these little icons up here. This is to use to duplicate something. This is to cut it or delete it. And then these 2 here with the little arrows are to change the size of a sprite. And so I want to make the sprite smaller. So I'm going to click on this arrow right here to shrink. And then I click on my sprite, and every time I click, my little sprite gets smaller. So I think I'm going to leave him right there, and that's fine. And then I want to move him to the right place, so I just click and drag him around and put him in the place where I want him to start. And we'll come back to that later. So now I've got a sprite, and I've got it moved. I've got it positioned in the right place. And the next thing I want to do is I want to create a background. So this thing, of course, is just a white background, and that's ugly. To create a background, you go down here, and there's this new background set of icons. We're just going to use one of the pre-arranged icons. So we'll click on the little thing that looks like a picture of a mountain. So it says choose backdrop from library. We'll click there, and the library will come up eventually. And since I've picked a polar bear, I want to scoot down here, come on, and eventually find the winter scene here. And so I'm going to pick this as my background, I can double click on that, and now I have a background. And now I have the sprite in there. So now, the next thing I need to do is I need to program the sprites. Okay, I don't want to program the background because I don't want it to do anything. But I do want to program my sprite. And if you notice here, so the sprite actually has two different costumes. I'm just going to use the regular costume. We don't need to do any sounds right now. We'll come back to that for later. But I do want to write a script for my sprite. And what I want to do is I want to tell the system what to do to catch the ball. And the way I'm going to do this is I need to have my sprite be able to move around the background here, the stage. And so I need to be able to control the sprite. But I think what I need to do is look here at events. Okay, if you notice here when we're editing scripts, there's all of these different places. So there's motion if you want to move the sprite around. There's looks if you want to actually change size, or you want to say something, do balloons, you want to think something. Sound. There's pen, which we're not going to use, but we could play with later on. There's data, which is how you make a variable, which we'll come back to later. There's how you manage events, and so we're actually going to use this particular part. And what I want to do is I want to grab this second one here and move it out here, and it drops down. And now it says when space key is pressed, and then I need to do something. But I don't want to do the space key. What I want is the right arrow key. So I can pick any key on the keyboard here. I'm going to pick the right arrow key. And when the right arrow key is pressed, I want my sprite to move to the right. And so what I want him to do now is I want to move the sprite to the right. But I don't want him to move 10 steps, because that's going to be too far. In fact, if I click on the green arrow right now, and then I can hit the right arrow key, he'll still move because I already told him to do that. But he's moving too far. And by the way, if I hit the left arrow key, nothing happens. Okay? Okay, so I'll stop that. And I don't want him to move 10 steps. I only want him to move 5. Okay? Now, but I also want to energize the left arrow key. So I'll move this again and click on the left arrow. And so when the left arrow key is pressed, I want my bear to move 5 spaces, but I want him to move 5 spaces to the left. And to do that, I'm just going to do -5. Okay? And so now, if I click on the green arrow again, and I hit the left arrow key, we're moving this way. If I hit the right arrow key, we're moving this way. So see that? We're halfway through the game already. Okay. So that's all I actually want to do with the bear right now. We're going to come back to this, though. But right now, we need a ball. And so in order to create a ball, there is no ball, by the way, in the sprites in the library. So we're going to have to create a ball of our own. And if you look at the new sprites and you go here, there's this thing that looks like a brush, which is, in fact, that's exactly what it is. And this says, paint a new sprite. Okay. And so what I want to do, I've got this checkerboard area here. I want to paint a new sprite. Let me go down and change the color. What color ball do we want? I think we want a red ball. And I want to paint a new sprite. So I'm going to create an ellipse, which will be a circle. Oh, if I shift, it's a circle. So I'm going to click there, and I come over here. I hold down the shift key, and I make a little circle. And I think that's a good size for the ball. But you notice the ball isn't filled in any. And I don't want a transparent ball. I want a ball with color in it. So I go over here to the paint bucket, and I click on the paint bucket. And I've already selected the red color, so I click in the sprite, and it fills in the sprite. And now it's already positioned the sprite on the stage. That's not exactly where I want it to be, but we'll have to fix that. Okay. In fact, I think I want the ball to be a little smaller. So I think what I will do is come back up here, go back to here, and I'll shrink my ball a little bit. I think that's a good size for the ball right there. And then I'm going to put the ball all the way up here. Okay, because the ball's going to have to start. Okay, so now I'm there. But now, what I need is I need for the ball to do something. I.e., I need for the ball to fall. Okay? And I want the ball to start falling when I click the green flag to start the game. So I go back to events, and I have when the green flag is clicked. What do I want to do? Well, I want to make the sprite, which is the ball. I want to make the sprite move. Okay, and so if I go back here to motion, I can see this change Y thing here. And so I can go here and I sort of click that. And now, one of the things I didn't tell you is that the way the stage is arranged is that 0, 0 is right about here. Oh, in fact, so you see there's this X, Y coordinates. Okay, so I can move the cursor right about here, and we're close to 0, 0 right here. And then the Y direction goes positive, going up, and Y goes negative, going down. And X goes positive, going to the right, and X goes negative, going down. Okay? And so what I actually want to do to make the ball fall is I want to change its Y position by a negative number because I want it to get lower. And so I'll say -1. Okay, and so when I do this, click, you may have just barely seen the ball move, but actually not much else happened. That's not good. Oh, what I want to have happen with the ball is to make it fall, is I want it to keep falling. So I could do this and put another one. Oops, no, I don't want actually I don't want that one. I want to change Y. I could change Y by a few more, and I could change Y by a few more, and I could do that. That's really ugly. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say, remember we talked about loops in the previous video. I don't know how many times I want to repeat the loop because I don't know how far the ball is going to fall. So I'm going to just repeat it forever. So if I put that in there, and then I put this in there, then when the green flag gets clicked, I'm going to go into this loop and I'm going to keep decrementing Y by 1. So let's see what happens. Exactly what I wanted to have happen. Okay, and so that seems to work, except it just fell right through the sprite, and it keeps falling all the way to the bottom. So that's probably not what I want to do. So I can stop it. Oh, but you notice what happened when I stopped it. The ball stayed down here. And so if I hit the green flag again, it's going to do that, but nothing. It didn't reset the ball. So we have to figure out a way to reset the ball. So let me, instead of having to do like this and drag it. Okay, so I actually want the ball to start right about there. Now, the question is, where is that? Well, if I put the cursor in the middle of the ball and look down at the XY coordinates, it looks like it's at -55x and +154y. So another way to do this is I want to make sure that I can reset the game to the beginning. So when the green flag is clicked, I want to move the ball to, and where is it? Oops, it's over here. What do we say? Minus 55, 154. So minus 55, 154. So that will reset the ball to the top of the screen, and then I can do this. And let's see what happens here. Let's move the ball over here just for grins, and then we'll do this. Hup! And it moved it. Oh, except it didn't move it in the right place. So I must not be quite putting it in the right place. So we'll have to figure that out. So minus 55 is over too far. So where is this? This is minus. This is minus. Oh, it keeps going. Where is this? So let's play with this. Let's play with this. It looks like it was a little bit too far to the left, so we'll make it, we'll say minus, oops, minus 30. And we'll make this 125. Let's see if that works. Go. Oh, it's up there. That's interesting. Well, let's see. We'll try this again. We'll stop. Minus 20, and we'll say the height is 100. And in fact, I'm going to stop it so we can get a better way to do this. Oh, that's better. That's better, but it's not, it's right height, but it's still over too far. So make it minus 10. Minus 10. Stop. Go. Nope. How about 0? Go. Not quite. Oh my. Okay. 20. Go. That's better. Okay. So we'll leave it there, and then we can do this. But the problem is we still haven't got we still haven't figured out how to make the sprite catch the ball. Okay. And we also might want to keep score. Let's do the keeping score part first. So if we're going to keep score, we need a place to keep the score, and so that will be a variable. And so we'll make a variable, and we'll call it score. And it's going to be for all sprites, and it'll be okay. Oh, and see, it shows up there. Okay. And now initially, when we start the game, what would the score be? Well, the score should be 0, right? So we can set the score to 0 here. Okay. And now we can put this back. But now the problem is, how do we figure out when to increment the score? So when would you logically increment the score? When would the sprite catch the ball? The answer to that is when the ball touches the sprite. And so there's a sensing thing here that says touching. It asks the musical question, is this sprite touching something else? So I'm going to have to do it here in the red, in the ball. So I'm going to move this over here because I'm going to need it. But how do I have to do this? So what has to happen is, if it's touching, then I have to make a decision. For example, I have to increment the score. So that means what I need is I need an if statement. Let's get rid of this for now. And let's put this inside here. And if it's touching, if we're touching the bear, right? If we're touching the bear, then what we have to do is increment the score. and that would be over here. We want to change the value of the score by 1. Now, regardless of whether we're touching or not, I want to move the ball, so that goes back in here. So what's going to happen here now is, at the beginning, I'm putting the ball in the right place. I then reset the score to 0, and then I go into this loop. And as long as the loop is executing, what will happen is it'll ask if we're touching the bear. If we are touching the bear, we increment the score by 1. And regardless of whether we're touching the bear or not, we will move the ball. So let's see if that works. See, score is 0. The ball was in the right place. And doink. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. We just scored 142 points. What happened? Well, what happened was this loop goes on forever, and so every time through the loop, every time we're going to move the ball, it's going to ask whether we're touching the bear. And we started touching the bear here, and we touched the bear all the way down, and so that means that this loop executed 142 times in between the time it touched the bear the first time and the time it touched the bear the last time. So that's probably not what we want to do. So once again, we have to figure out how to fix that, right? And what can we do? So what we do here is that when we hit the green arrow, it resets the ball, and then it starts the ball rolling, and it resets the score. So maybe when the ball touches the sprite, we want to increment the score, and then we want the whole thing to start all over again, but without changing the score. So how could we do that? What we need to do is we need to move the ball again. So that's motion, and we want to go someplace, and we want to go someplace when we touch the bear, because so this will happen the very first time. But the question is, where do we want to go? We don't want to go to just some arbitrary place, or do we? We don't want it to go to the same place every time, because that's a boring game. So maybe what we want to do is click on operators, and we want to go to some random place. And now we want the ball to end up at the top, so maybe we want to leave the Y the way it is, which is at 100. But for the X, what about if we drop, come on, you're supposed to go in there. Here we are. Oh, there it is. Thunk. Drop that in there. And what about if we say, so where's this? This is approximately minus 240, and this is approximately positive 240. So why don't we say minus 235 to positive 235. So it's going to pick a random number between minus 235 and 235 and make that the x-coordinate. And then the y-coordinate will always be 100, so it'll end up back here at the top. And this will only happen if the ball is touching the bear. So let's see if this works. Go. Do, 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 do. So the bear is moving. We can move the bear around. And bink. Oh, there you go. It moved. And the score is only 1. Quick, 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 quick. Over, over, over. Oh, it moved again. Go, 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 go. Not gonna make it deliberately. Thunk. Okay, so now here's the problem. The problem is now at the end of the game, when you finish this, the ball just stops at the bottom. And well, that's not fun. That's no fun. So what we would like to do is indicate to the user that they lost. And for that, we need actually another sprite. So if we go down here, we can paint ourselves another sprite. And in this case, what we do is we use the T for text. Let's pick a color to draw in. Let's pick a nice dark blue. Font Helvetica. Helvetica's boring. Let's pick the mystery font. And let's do this. And we'll say, sorry, you lose. Exclamation point. Okay, and so that's my sprite, which should be somewhere in here. Oh, maybe I should make the color different. No, that should be okay. So where's my sprite? Uh-oh. No. Okay, we're done. There. Sorry you lose. There it is. Okay, good. And so I can move this over here. Except the problem with this is now, if I start the game, you notice the sorry you lose shows up all the time, which is not what I wanted, right? So we need to hide the sorry you lose and only make the sorry you lose show up when you actually lose. So we need to actually add a script to the sorry you lose, and we'll say when the green flag is clicked, let's see, nothing here that I want. Where could it possibly be? Nope, not here. Nope, not here. There it is. We want to hide our sprite. Okay, so now what happens is, doink, the sprite goes away. But now, of course, we have to make it show up again. And the question is, when do we make it show up? Well, we make it show up when we get down here somewhere, right? And if you look down here, minus 180 or so is about the bottom of the script, of the stage rather. So what we need to do is we need to check to see if the ball is down at the bottom, and if it is, we need to tell this guy to appear. Let's go back to the red ball. And so what we'll have to do is we'll have to check every time to see if we've gotten down all the way to the bottom of the screen. So we go back to control. We need another if statement. And I'm going to put the if statement right there underneath the other one. Oops, but that doesn't go there. That's going to have to go there. Okay. And the test has to be if the y position is less than some value, right? If it's, let's see, this is a negative number. If y position's like less than minus 170 or 75, that means it's down here. So I go back to operators, and I want the y position to be less than something. So I need my less than, and I want it to be less than, say, minus 175. And what do I want? Well, I want the y position. So if the y position is less than 175, then what do we want to do? Well, we have to tell this sprite to show up. And to do that, we can actually generate an event. And so what we can do, an event is generated by broadcasting it in Scratch. So I can take this broadcast here and I can put it there. And I don't want it to be message 1. I want to create a new message, which is lost. Okay, so I want to broadcast the message lost, and then I want to stop the ball. So I also want to go down here, and there's a stop, which I can put in here. And what do I want to stop? I want to stop this script. Okay, so if the Y position gets too low, I'm going to broadcast this lost message, and then I'm going to stop this script. Now, who has to catch this lost message? Well, the sorry has to catch it. Okay, and so we go back up here to events, and here's an event that says when I receive, and it conveniently says when I receive lost. What do I want to do? What I want to do is I want to show myself, and then I want to stop all the scripts, and that ends the game. So let's try this. We're going to move the sprite out of the way, and ta-da! Except we might have to go further. Don't you think? You know what? The other thing we need to do is I want to stop, and I want to click on this, and I want to make this bigger. So, oh, I have to click the font. I have to change the font. Okay, we'll do that later. All right, so the last thing, so we're almost done. I think I want to change this a little bit so that when the ball, instead of 175, we'll make it minus 185. And then let's see if it'll work. All right, see? Text goes away, ball falls down, scores 0, down, 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 down. Oops, make it 200. Minus 200. Okay, try it again. And we'll go down, 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 down. And that's pretty good. All right, and so that's pretty much everything that we need to know. You notice what happens here is we've got one more thing I wanted to do, which is when the game starts, I want the bear to be in a particular spot. I want the bear to be over here, which was, over here, which was around, actually, why don't we say like minus 10, and minus 125. Let's see if that works. Where does he end up? Oh, he ends up over there. That's not wrong. I want to go like minus 50 and minus 100. So minus 50 and minus, how about minus 80? Let's see where that goes. There you go. That's a good spot for him. And we can move him out of the way. We can move him over here. Oink. Oh no! No, 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 no! Can't get to it. All right. So that's pretty much all we want to do here. That should give you a really good idea about how scripts work in Scratch, and how you can create things in Scratch and you can start them. One of the other interesting things to notice is that for each one of these sprites, all of these things are active at the same time. So this script is running at the same time these scripts are running, at the same time these scripts are running, which is known as parallel execution. So Scratch is really handy that way. All right, so that's it for this video. Have fun, give it a shot, have a good time in the lab trying this, and talk to you later.